Congratulations. You are the savior.
Strong legs and I'm done it. Tell the industry that I'm done.
We've come back from the year 2162.
Everything that happens in the Biotic Wars is real. The game is a recruitment and training tool sent back in time to find the one person with the skills to save us. You're the first and only person to have beaten the game.
That's The Last Starfighter. It's the exact same plot as the movie.
What's a movie?
Is this part of your arsenal of weaponry?
No, please don't. That's a signed... Oh, my God! I paid my only Bitcoin for that!
Yeah, let's start this thing!
Welcome to Cordkillers, our mission to report the intel from the front lines of the cord-cutting revolution so you can watch the stuff you love when you want, where you want, how you want, on whatever device you want. Brian, is that you?
Tom, it's hard to see. I through the hurricane gale force winds of. Oh no, wait, I'm not in Florida at all. Hi, I'm back in Austin,
We've been away
Texas.
from the show with each other so long. You grew a beard long.
Too long and too wrong, and that's why I have to balance everything by bringing on my co-host from the Modern Rogue. That's right, the show where we're on a quest to become the ultimate gentleman, warrior, and scoundrel. Please give your digital applause to my friend Jason Murphy.
Hello, glad to be here. Is this Night Attack?
Yeah, sure, give or take. Just
all right, cool.
Only no more
Awesome.
cursing. Also, we talk about movies and TV.
Yeah, but
so other than
otherwise, exactly the same.
Okay, cool.
Because you can pretend I'm not here.
I'm a big fan.
That
hey,
opening
Future Man trailer looked pretty good.
Yeah, dude, that's Hulu's Future Man, and I love the fact that they called out that the plot is definitely a ripoff of The Last Starfighter. Thought that was great.
Gonna say Armada, but I'll take Last Starfighter.
But I mean, come see, come sell. 61
Knowing
half
those
dozen
folks,
another.
I'm not going to be surprised if there's an Armada joke in that series.
Ender's
somewhere.
Game.
Yep. All
And
of
an
the
Ender's
above.
Game, and yeah, no, absolutely. No, that's coming out in November. That looks pretty good. I'm not shocked that Hulu has a good series, but I haven't heard anything about this till today. So
That's the first I've seen of it. It looks
Yeah.
fun.
That trailer came out 2 weeks ago during Comic-Con, I believe. Oh.
yeah,
So,
it kind of got lost in the shuffle, I guess.
yeah, we got kind of distracted by a bunch of other trailers coming out.
No, that's good. Good stuff. Well, we are going to talk about more good stuff today, starting with the primary target. Gotta love this story. For years now, Netflix has been saying, like, we don't need ratings. We don't care. All we care about subscriptions. And everybody's like, you need to tell us how many people are watching your shows. And Netflix is like, no, we know you want to know. We don't care. And then Nielsen in 2014 says, all right, we're going to give raw number estimates. But they didn't really do the proper, like the full rollout. So Netflix is like, nah, those numbers are wrong. Well, now Nielsen subscription video on demand is coming out, which will have ratings, estimate reach, frequency, segmentation, which is fancy word for telling you like what age groups, what demographics were watching it for Netflix, just Netflix. Now, eventually they're going to add Hulu and Amazon and other streaming services, but it really is just for Netflix. And the testers who are going to subscribe to this obviously are not Netflix, because Netflix is still saying like, no, there's no reason for us to publish ratings. NBC Universal, Disney ABC, A&E Networks, Lionsgate, Warner Brothers, and 3 others that were not named by Nielsen.
So, on the one hand, I can understand the mechanics by which this happens. Like the Arbitron ratings work by listening to snippets of the radio and figuring out what you're paying attention to. We've talked about Nielsen using the same technology on apps and so on. Not just a matter of self-reporting, but I gotta go back to the initial question of why? How are they making money on these numbers, and to what good do they exist?
It doesn't make any sense to me for why would Netflix capitulate? I mean, I understand.
Netflix can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's not a matter of capitulation. Basically, Nielsen is saying, we're going to listen to this segment of the audience, and we're going to figure out what they're watching, and we're going to report on whether it's Netflix content
so
or
Netflix
not.
is not cooperating with this
Oh,
at
yeah,
all.
they have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, right?
That makes way more sense.
I mean, that part makes sense, but the part that doesn't make sense is how does Nielsen make money on this information? I don't understand.
No, that's not even the question. Nielsen makes money because NBC, Disney, A&E,
Yes.
Lionsgate, Warner Brothers are all paying them money to subscribe to these ratings. Why are they paying the money? Why is it worth those networks paying Nielsen for these ratings?
Haven't we heard that Netflix doesn't even give the production companies any numbers?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
They have no
Correct.
way to compare even within Netflix
So that's
themselves.
one possibility.
So
as production companies, NBC makes shows that Netflix airs, Disney makes shows that Netflix airs. These guys are like, well, we kind of want to know apples and oranges. Maybe we want to shop it around, take
Right.
it somewhere else. We want to know the details.
Yeah, I'm thinking that if I'm off base, let me know that NBC says, okay, we want to know how many people watch 30 Rock on Netflix. Oh, that much? Well, you are paying us way too little, Netflix.
So I'm with you. I believe that what they're doing is they suspect that maybe they want to diffuse the hype around Netflix and tell advertisers, look, I know we all have Netflix fever, but here are Netflix's actual numbers. Here's how much bigger we are. And failing that, if in fact Netflix has bigger numbers than NBC or whatever, I'm going to assume NBC really wants to know those numbers.
Yeah.
Well, and I imagine that, NBC, all I can think of is Unsyncable Molly Brown. What's the
Unstoppable
comedy?
Kimmy Schmidt.
Thank you.
No. It's the
Unbreakable.
Unsinkable Molly Brown from now
Not
on.
even Unstoppable,
it's an old ship.
Unbreakable Kimmy
Unsinkable
Schmidt.
Molly Brown.
Wooden ship.
So NBC makes Kimmy Schmidt for Netflix. NBC's talking to, I don't know, Hulu about like, oh yeah, we'll make a show for you guys too. They would like to say, because we made Kimmy Schmidt and look at the numbers that it did, right? They can't do that right now unless they have these Nielsen numbers.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I'm just surprised that there's this much money that it's worth it for Nielsen to invest in doing this.
Yeah. Well, we've got some good theories about, again, Nielsen invests in it because, hey, guess what? We found a bunch of network partners that'll pay for it. What they get out of it is still, like, I have theories and we've espoused them. But hey, if anybody in the industry knows and is willing to share that info, cordkillers@gmail.com, we'll leave your name out of it if you so desire.
I think this could really help the content providers, like for movies and TV, for whoever's selling this to Netflix. This allows them potentially, if they're able to force Netflix's hand and say, no, this is much more valuable to you than this one is. Here's the proof. Pay us more. And so that will help because really nobody makes money on Netflix except Netflix, right?
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that, but I think you're 100% right. Like all of a sudden there becomes this conglomeration. Every single content partner who's not getting the information that they wish they were getting from Netflix now has another opportunity that they could buy in and find out exactly how many people they're reaching.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not about back catalog. Everybody's going to pull their back catalog. Netflix knows it. They are prepared. They know that, like you say, nobody makes money selling their back catalog to Netflix much anymore. This is about originals, I'm pretty sure.
Well, and speaking of which, understand that this information, even if Netflix doesn't want to provide it, all of a sudden, let's say you have a contract with Netflix, and let's say you have the flexibility to decide who your content partners are going to be in it. And then you're able to say, okay, now, thank you, Nielsen. No thanks to you, Netflix. Thank you, Nielsen. We now know that 300,000 people per episode are going to be watching this. Now I can, there's a computer in Act 3 that's vital to the plot. Now we know that we could go to Microsoft and say, you're going to reach this many people. Should the MacGuffin computer be a Microsoft computer, or should it, should they use the search engine Bing? Should they use Yahoo? Let's have conversation.
Unless the Netflix contracts prevent that,
which it very well could be, well could be. But still, if you have that flexibility, I'm gonna guess that you're happy to have those numbers.
Or even better, like, oh, you know what? We're going to put a show on Amazon. Amazon doesn't care about the product placement. That's cool. Look at these numbers we did on the Netflix show. We can guess that our Amazon show is going to do pretty similar, proportionally. So yeah, there's all kinds of angles that could make this work. The more we talk about it, the more I'm like, none of these individual scenarios that we've put forth are convincing, but maybe all of them together are.
Yeah, no, I'll totally buy that. It's I don't know. It's a bit of a bummer because, like, as an aggregate, it's hard for me to justify Nielsen. Nielsen provided a very important service back in the days before we were able to instantly track and know exactly how many people watched every single thing online. But now it just seems like a Rube Goldberg ridiculous kludge to try to find out the same information that we already know Netflix already has, but
Neil
just
said,
doesn't
yeah,
want
but
to share.
Netflix won't tell anyone.
Right.
Also, when it comes to ads, let's forget Netflix for the moment. Let's talk about PlayStation Vue. Let's talk about Hulu Live. Let's talk about YouTube TV. Advertisers still want a third party to come in and tell you, okay, how many people actually saw this?
Right.
And I knew this from CNET. At CNET, we had the numbers, like we served this many on the page, and the advertiser's like, that's great. You're probably not wrong. We just feel better if we have a third party verifying that. That's always true.
Right.
So I think that's why Nielsen exists now.
Yeah, I got nothing.
That seems
All right,
to be
you know what we don't need, you guys?
Us on the show? Okay, fine. Go ahead, do the show.
No, we need us. We need us because then it's just empty
Are you
chairs.
sure? Are you sure? Because I got the distinct impression you were about to fire me, and I say, don't fire me. I quit. I quit, and I'm taking Jason with me.
What are Brian's Nielsen ratings?
We don't care. That's what I was going to say. We don't need.
Oh.
We don't need ratings.
Oh, good, because I would never quit, and I'm always going to be here for you.
Well, you don't be here for me. Be here for the patrons at patreon.com/Cordkillers.
Oh, Tom, it's not like there's more than 1,683 patrons. Wait, there is. There's 1,684. So many patrons keeping us loud, live, and independent. We can't thank any of you guys quite enough. So instead, we'll thank all of you as an aggregate. Please have one of my children.
What?
No.
You could just say thank
Barry?
you.
Bear or Steel?
Yeah, you know what? I like Bryce's idea. I'll just say thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll
I
keep
think-
my
I think we
children.
keep it at that.
I didn't
No,
know that was
seriously.
an option. Thank you.
We love you, and we show it by doing the show every week because you want us to do it, and you want us to do it, and we know that because of patreon.com/Cordkillers.
Because money is your new god.
It's your way of showing love. That's fine. We're used to that. We're children of the 70s and 80s. On to how to watch. So, hey, Verizon's online TV service has been coming since they bought Intel's OnQ. Remember me back in the 70s telling you this, Brian?
That was like half a decade ago, right? Like
Seriously,
I think
right?
Legitimately, it was half a decade ago we were first
Pretty
talking
close.
about this.
If you're not exactly right, you're rounding up right. Like it has been that long, and it's delayed again. According to Bloomberg, sources say, yeah, they're having technical issues. They're having staff turnover. They're having trouble finalizing those distribution agreements. That's always the killer on these things. And so now they're talking about launching it in spring 2018.
Is this an indication of their incompetence, or is it an indication that the project is much more ambitious than we had previously given it credit for?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. So Verizon bought Yahoo, which doesn't bear on this story directly, but it certainly causes institutional problems, right? Whenever anybody buys something that big. And basically what they did is they said, hey, AOL, which Verizon also owned, you're now part of Oath with Yahoo. So we smush AOL and Yahoo together, and you're called Oath, and you run this thing, this TV thing, and that other TV thing that we have on mobile, the Go 180. Yeah, you're running that too. So I imagine that's part of it, right? There's just some stability issues as that whole merger shakes out. But I also think it's really hard right now to figure out where your niche is in this market when you have so much competition.
And they're just going to be showing reruns of She's the Sheriff when it launches. That's all.
Well, so at the time that we were originally covering this story, OnQ was rumored to be this revolutionary interface that made it so easy to experience all this stuff. In a world where, by the way, for the first time ever, I had a full conversation with an artificially intelligent entity. I was walking past my kitchen, and I noticed that
Her name is Bonnie.
Alexa was the Echo was flashing.
You're having that conversation now with everyone's Amazon Echo because you said her name twice.
I apologize. Okay, so I was walking along and I saw the Amazon Echo was pulsing yellow, and I stopped, and not knowing what else to say, I turned to the robot and said, forgive me, I'm going to screw up all of your devices.
Say a different word.
I said, a word, why are you yellow? And then she said, oh, my yellow flash indicates that you have a message. Did you know that messaging is now a thing? You can message this way. I was like, what does the message say? And then she told me the message, and I was like, cool. Like, and for the first time, I was like, oh my God, I'm just having a conversation with robots. But in a world where that is my new reality, how on earth can a half-decade-old Intel reject bought out by Verizon either A, possibly be any good, or B, merit this level of delay to continue to figure stuff? I'm having conversations with robots, Tom. Why is this even on the menu?
Well, staff turnover, technical issues, and distribution. Like, there is no, and they say technical issues. I'm going to guess it's streaming, not like making it work. Because my interpretation of Intel getting out of this business when Brian Krzanich took over was, this is a really great product. We don't want to do any of the work trying to make become BAM Media and make a reliable streaming product and also deal with all the Hollywood studios about, deals for their channels. So forget it. We'll sell it to Verizon. It'll become their problem.
I mean, now it's our problem because we keep having to report on it not coming out. And then it's going to come out and it's going to be dumb and we're going to be mad.
Are they just going to be like, they're going to have like season 6 of Community and
Well, no, they're going to have live TV.
Think about how many aspects of this technology would have seemed amazing half a decade ago and now seem so trite and dumb. Like, what's it going to do? The best I can imagine is that I can say, hey, I like projects created by Dan Harmon, and it'd be like, oh, let me subscribe you to all the Dan Harmon things you like. But that technology already exists right now.
We this is what fragmentation of the market hath wrought, right?
Yeah.
With everyone starting their own streaming service.
This is Fraggle rot. No,
Good contribution. Sorry.
Yep. Doot.
I mean, I think you really just nailed the story, Brian.
Fraggle rot.
And as a consumer, I actually feel good about this. Like, if a company as big as Verizon is like, no, we can't put it out yet, because it's too competitive out there. There's too much fragmentation and we need to win. That's good. That means that there's a lot of choices for us out there. And that's always good for the consumer.
Yeah, agreed. What a bummer that it's so sloppy. Maybe
that's why. Maybe it's a good thing they're not putting it out then.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to have my own content distribution, as will all of you and everyone watching, by the year 2021.
Oh,
right.
You will be required to have your own streaming service.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Everybody
In the future, everyone will be a streaming service for 15 minutes. All right, let's talk about what to watch on these streaming services in Under Surveillance.
It's all about location.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, sir.
Pop quiz.
Yep.
When is the right time to release a Punisher trailer?
Oh, not after a mass shooting.
In other words,
Never.
Bryce called it.
Any given Sunday.
I'm just saying it's problematic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Punisher coming out November 17th. So it's not even right around the corner, but the new Punisher trailer came out this week. And really, that's what it made you think of, huh?
Well, I mean, I know that they made the decision to not display it originally. Like, they pulled the panel from New York Comic Con or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they are aware that the Punisher is a uniquely problematic hero character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, he's a relic of the 70s.
Well, sure, but also an artifact of a current time. I mean, it's like,
there were mass shootings in the 70s and hijackings and all kinds of crazy shit.
But his superpower is knowledge of guns and the ability to shoot an awful lot of people all at once. And it's like, in what is an ongoing problematic situation in the United States, it's hard to slot in a time that this is a delightful character. It's not like the only time that would have been the right time is unfortunately already occupied by 24. 24 decided, let's do Punisher.
They did.
After 9/11. And that's all America wants, is the thought of shooting and punching bad guys.
Yeah, it's I think it's just kind of de rigueur, the reaction to it's like, check the news if you're in PR or media. You check the news, find out what horrible thing has happened. Okay, do I have to shuffle any of my entertainment releases now? No. Okay. Or yes. What's the proper wait time? How many people died? All right, 6 weeks. Oh my God. I know.
I mean,
you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
though.
no.
It's like,
This is the exact moment from Fight Club where they say if A plus B plus C is less than the cost of a recall, we don't do one.
And I'm not making light of it. It's horrible, and I think that's probably what some people behind the scenes are having to do.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt at all. CBS says Star Trek Discovery has driven enough subscriber growth that it's going to renew it for a second season. There will definitely be a season 2 of Star Trek Discovery.
Can we talk a little bit about this? I guess I was out a week. You were out a week. Have we had the discussion on Star Trek Discovery and quality of? All right.
There's so many discussions to be had and that have been had. I'm not sure which one you're after. So
here's what I don't want to believe, but in my heart of hearts, I actually believe. All of CBS Online, this is all a cash grab. Basically, somebody says, here's how much Star Trek people love Star Trek. Here's how much money we think we can harvest from them. The way to do it is to give one episode out on it for free and then make everyone go to the back room and pay to freebase pure Star Trek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we've had that conversation over and over. And by the way, the majority of the world that gets this on Netflix is really tired of hearing the Americans whine about it.
That's fine.
We have to go to CBS All Access. But I also think that's one of the reasons this gets renewed too, is you're like, if you're CBS, you're like, we just need to increase the number of subscriptions on All Access. That's fine. We don't want it to be going the wrong way. It would be almost suicide not to get all that Netflix money if Netflix still wants it.
And remember when you could set up a VPN and get Netflix from different countries?
Remember when?
Yeah, remember when that happened?
I don't think...
in the meantime, in theory, I suppose it could still be happening.
Have you watched it, Brian?
No, I still haven't.
Okay,
I still haven't.
Right. I've seen the first two.
How did you feel?
I liked him. Yeah. As Jeff put it, though, he said, I miss boring Star Trek.
AKA the Orville.
AKA Orville.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, thoughtful, positive, and everything. This one just kicks off right like one of the movies where it's just slam bang drama right out of the gates.
I do like the fact that Star Trek Discovery makes it possible for me to say that the real mission of CBS is to get people to freebase STD. No? Okay.
No. Hey, but yes to new Amazon pilots. It's that time of year.
Cool.
Amazon is going to let you review the first episodes of 3 potential seasons starting on November 10th. Let me run these by you, as is our tradition on Cordkillers. Sea Oak will star Glenn Close as an aunt who comes back as a zombie because she's so dissatisfied with the rest of her family.
Okay.
I was
close?
waiting for that sigh for sure.
I will withhold judgment until I see it.
See, if you want me to love it, then bring her back as the character who tried to take down Vic Mackey, but also still a zombie. and she's like, I'm gonna get him yet.
It does have the
I'm like,
director.
Glenn
of
Close.
Atlanta.
Yeah, all right. And then I'm like, zombie. Oh, and like angry aunt. Oh,
Vic Mackey, zombie killer.
maybe she's the aunt of.
Zombie
maybe she
killed.
is that character, and she was an aunt.
Maybe.
How about this one? Love You More stars Bridget Everett as a big personality with a big heart, and is directed by Bobcat Goldthwait.
Good director.
Yeah, I was about to say, Bobcat Goldthwait is no joke in the director's chair. He's super interesting.
That I don't know much more about this, and I kind of don't need to, because it's like, well, if he makes it funny, if he makes it compelling, then that could absolutely work.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing more surreal to my Generation X persona than watching Bobcat Goldthwait 100% out of character. Just talking directly about the art and what it means to be a comedian or whatever. It is fascinating, utterly fascinating.
And then finally, The Climb, which stars Deara Kilpatrick of The Last OG, who's creating the series and starring in it. It's a comedy about pursuing the American dream in a rapidly changing Detroit. with Chris Robinson as the director.
None of these are blowing my skirt up.
I'll take your word for all of them that they're pretty good.
I mean, that's why you get to watch it, right? Is to decide if you think they're good or not, and then they'll decide whether they want to make a whole series based on them.
Yeah.
So they I forgot how this works. They only release one episode?
Yeah, they
put
released
out the pilot.
the pilot
the
episode
pilot.
of each of these on November 10th.
Hence pilots.
And they haven't shot any more yet.
Okay.
And they'll take that feedback into consideration. It's not like a dead vote or anything, but they'll see how people react to it and decide whether to greenlight them or not.
I thought they had more than 3 pilots.
Usually
during
they
pilot
do,
season,
yeah.
right? Okay.
But they're doing more seasons. Like this is,
Yeah,
I feel like
they're
this
doing
is
it
not
more
the
often.
first pilot season they've done this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're just doing it more frequently.
Oh, okay.
Spread it
Gotcha.
out a little. All right, let's talk about what we're watching. Starting with you, our guest, Jason. What have you been watching these days?
Let's see. I just started watching, and I watched the first episode of Mindhunter.
Oh.
The David Fincher
Yep.
thing. It was good. It starts off like slow burn, and so he's definitely embracing the format of let's explore this story from multiple angles, and you're not going to be, or some people aren't going to be just enthralled right out of the gates. It is very good filmmaking. I didn't find it particularly gripping, but I thought, okay, this is interesting, and I'm sure it's going to get really good, but it starts off and it's just like, it's a slow pace, I thought.
So along that line,
We'll probably talk about this on Spoiler in Time, too.
should
'cause
I
watched
hold
it
back
as well.
a bit on? Okay,
Well,
you know what? I
give us
have
the
thoughts
top
on all
line.
this.
Yeah,
We'll
give us the
talk
top
about it.
I think the name is very exciting, like straight to video 90s action thriller, Mindhunter. You know, I'm like, really? That's where you landed on that, huh?
No,
Okay.
but within the context of the story, I think it makes sense.
Sure, yeah. And it's acted well, directed very well.
Beautiful.
Art direction. It's all gorgeous and very,
I
very
like it
expertly
most
made.
as a nostalgia play. The fact that it takes place in 1977 is like, oh, wow, yeah. No, this is cool. Like these are what I thought. This is what I was taught adults are like. Is
Did
what's
you,
happening.
Yeah, right.
Tom, have you watched the second episode yet?
No, just the first.
Okay, well, then I'm going to spoil the second episode. I'm
But
gonna
no,
do a
no.
reverse spoiler.
Yeah.
No, it's not a spoiler.
Okay.
Two guys are on the road, and there's like a good 7-minute montage of life on the road. Different rental car companies, different vices,
That's a good
different
montage.
different motels and whatever. Like they nailed the experience of life on the road.
Yeah?
To this guy who spent 2 decades on the road. Like it was really great. We'll talk more about it in Spoiler in Time, though.
Anything else, Jason?
Yes, something that I would love for everyone to check out if you're into horror. A lot of people don't even realize that this is a thing, as I've learned. The Exorcist TV show.
Oh, that's like an anthology, right?
No, it's an ongoing story. Whenever it was announced, I rolled my eyes and thought, oh, shameless cash grab or whatever. And then I started hearing from some people whose opinions I trusted that during the first season that it was really pretty good. And we started watching it, and the first season is great. It's genuinely scary. And like in the 4th-ish episode, there's a bomb that goes off, metaphorically, that made me jump out of my seat. Like,
Wow.
oh my God. Second season just started. It's pretty good so far. I only saw like 2 of the 4 episodes that have aired. But it's an ongoing story about 2 exorcists, fighting the forces of darkness. And each season is a different storyline, but with those 2 primary characters.
Wow.
Very, very good though.
Cool.
Yeah. Gina Davis. What's his name? Jonathan Ruck, I think his name is. Cameron from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 2 lead Exorcist guys are just fantastic. I highly recommend it.
Awesome.
Brian, what about yourself?
Man, I was out on vacation, so I did a lot of. I did watch Mr. Robot 301, 302 since we last spoke. I did watch our latest episode of Firefly for the discussion today. Did watch Mindhunter. I got back home. I watched like 3 episodes of Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. But while I was out, you know how it often happens when you're out on the road, you're out on vacation, and you want to share something that's precious and wonderful to you. Oh my God, was it ever a delight to share Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's Day special to people who had no idea what they were in for. That was so much fun, and it sort of led for reasons that'll be obvious if you watch that show, to me encouraging the kids to watch all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, which we did. It was, and then we rode the ride, and it was delightful.
Did they sing
really
with
cool.
the ride?
Well, what's funny is I didn't realize when I watched the Big Sexy Valentine's Day special, I didn't realize that the Captain Jack Sparrow song was deliberately the score, the action score to the music.
Yeah.
And so then watching the movie the whole time, I'm like, this is the tale of Captain Jack Sparrow, the Fool of Tortuga. I mean, it was great.
Fantastic. I was on the road this weekend as well. So other than watching a lot of baseball, which has never been easier to watch the baseball playoffs as a cord cutter with PlayStation View these days, my wife is way into Outlander, so we've been keeping up on Outlander, and I enjoy it. It's a really good show. She stayed up until midnight Eastern time on Saturday night, knowing that Starz releases their shows day and date, not time. So even though it doesn't show until 8 o'clock at night on Starz, the channel, you can get it as soon as the day flips over. Usually that means she can watch it at 9 p.m. Pacific, but she stayed up until midnight on that Starz app and persevered through hotel Wi-Fi to watch it. And same thing on last night. We watched Mr. Robot on PlayStation View, which was even more difficult to get through on the Wi-Fi. I don't know if it was just the hotel Wi-Fi or if it had something to do with PlayStation View's service, but both were doable at least.
Right on.
And what are you on the lookout for, Bryce?
Hey, we got an email from Mark, who we also got an email for later in the show. He wanted to tell us where to find a nostalgic sort of series. He writes, on a nostalgic kick, I wanted to rewatch Babylon 5. I thought this was not available on streaming services, so I started to look for looking to purchase digital copies, but the prices varied from $20 to $40 per season from the different providers. In the end, I was able to find it on the Go 90 streaming service, which we talked about earlier, which is available.
I called it Go 180 earlier. I apologize.
Well, I thought you were being snide on purpose.
I really
amazing.
wasn't caring that much. You're right.
He found it on Go 90, which is available in browser and has smartphone apps as well as AirPlay and Chromecast support. It's a free ad-supported service, so you can go and just watch it as long as you watch ads. That's great. You know, we were talking about doing Babylon 5 for the Spoiler in Time library show, right? Or no?
Yeah.
It was up in the tournament.
Right. And this is a good solution if that got your Babylon 5 itch going. You can just watch it on Go 90.
So Go 90's free?
It's free. I don't think you can subscribe to it. It's an ad-supported service.
I'm actually into those. Like free ad-supported streaming services like Pluto TV and Tubi TV. There's actually a lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah. And
as far specifically as I could tell, stuff that you would never consider just, dropping $40, $50 on.
Right. What I love about Pluto TV is that it's got all of these channels, and so it's like having cable. You're like, let's just see what's on, and it eliminates all of that lengthy choice making.
Especially if you have the kind of job where it's like you can have noise television on and still do your job. That's ideal noise television.
And they've got a lot of weird kind of niche stuff on there, like Slow TV is on Pluto TV.
Wow,
stuff like that. Just odd things. One of them is clearly made for people who are stoned because it's just like, here's skateboarding, and now here's a Nick Cave video. Here's us going through an ice tunnel, first person. And it's just like, oh, I get it. Okay. And it's called
I know what cable TV appealed to.
It's called Chill with Pluto TV.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
On their channel Vibes.
That's amazing.
If you want to see Babylon 5, it looked like they have every episode and every season on Go 90. So check that out, go90.com. Wow.
It's so funny. Babylon 5 used to be on AOL TV. Like way back in the day, before streaming services were even much of a thing. It's like Babylon 5 always wants to find the young up and comer that's new on the scene. So that's interesting. Hey folks, if you got something we should be on the lookout for, be sure to email us cordkillers@gmail.com. Thank you, Mark, for doing just that. Brian, what's going on with the Modern Rogue?
Oh my God. The Modern Rogue is the place where you can become the ultimate gentleman, warrior, and scoundrel. But did you know that you can buy stuff from yours truly at a little shop called scamstuff.com? We have a big announcement coming in a couple of weeks, but Before then, we have a right now announcement. One of the most surprising, successful things that we had on the store was this plasma lighter. Creates an arc of purple plasma to light stuff. It's amazing looking. We looked at a bunch of different suppliers and we found a supplier that we just loved. They customized these for us. It's a twin cross beam plasma lighter. There's two designs. There's a black one. There's a silver one. They both have the BB logo on there. They're great. They have a lifetime guarantee. If you want something novel that's going to get everybody to look in your direction when you light anything on fire, this thing is USB rechargeable. It's totally windproof. You can't blow it out. It's amazing. Plasma Lighter X available right now at scamstuff.com.
No Roncinol or nothing, huh?
No, ain't none of that. Ain't none of that beeswax, man.
Wow. Check it out, folks. All right, let's move on to the front lines.
Front lines.
Dave Zatz at Zatz Not Funny spotted a product listing on Amazon for a new TiVo Bolt called the TiVo Bolt Vox, V-O-X. And in that product listing, it showed support for 4K Ultra HD, be the first 4K TiVo Bolt. It's listed as having 500 gigabyte storage and support for over-the-air and cable. I know that it's not the first. It's the 4K Ultra HD Bolt Vox with 4K, 500 gigabytes of storage, over-the-air and cable support. And here's the part that's the first, voice control in the remote.
Yes, and of course we know that there have been versions of that in Amazon Fire TVs and whatnot. But I say the more players in this market, the happier I am. I don't want to type nothing to nobody. I don't even want to have to speak in complete sentences. I just want to grunt and point and have smart robots tell me, yes, here it is.
I mean, Eileen has totally gone 180. She's gone 180 on the Amazon Echo. Because she started to realize, wait, I don't have to pick up the Logitech remote. I can just say, turn on the Apple TV. I don't have to find the app to our smart bulbs. I can just say, hey, turn off the living room lights. Like it really is pretty cool to be able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, YouTube Red is greenlit a a comedy series about Tinder called Swipe Right, starring Carly Craig from Role Models. Carly plays a single 35-year-old who decides to date all of her 252 Tinder matches, aka...
Oh, but that's not all. Her sister, who's married, wants to date along with her because she's tired of her husband, and her mom just got divorced.
Too much? Too much.
Maybe too much.
Too much. Too much.
Jason, too much?
We'll see. Is it Ashley Judd playing the character, or because that sounds like an Ashley Judd movie from the 90s?
It's Carly Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to need you to swap her out for Ashley Judd. Could you get on that, Jason? Just go ahead and make a few phone calls.
I will. I'll text her.
Okay.
Just a second.
Oh,
Yeah,
looks
Ashley
like
Judd.
Todd.
Tom's on the phone.
Tom's
Got it.
okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Great.
Netflix has partnered with UK's Top Shop and US store Target on Stranger Things merchandise, including T-shirts and figurines. Netflix also said it's going to take on $1.6 billion in debt to help it pay for new productions in 2018. So really buy a lot of these figurines, people.
I was at Target the other day and looking at T-shirts, and I was like, why is everything Stranger Things T-shirts? I was like, I don't want a Stranger Things T-shirt. I love the show, but come on. It was just rows of them.
Yeah. Well, and especially
These are not great looking designs.
Yeah, go to the top one there that says
never forget.
that says never forget. Like, that's a little bit like, do you remember how annoyed hopefully all of us felt when Lucasfilm started releasing shirts that said Han shot first? I'm like, MFers,
insulting.
You're the ones who created this problem. This is a meme that shouts out your mess up. Don't release me a shirt about my mess up. Yeah, you know, it's
and all three of the white 40-year-olds in this audience will not buy those shirts.
That's
true, right? This is for the people who bought Pickle Rick T-shirts.
Yeah. Congratulations! If you already have a Pickle Rick tattoo, do we have a shirt for you?
I do think this is the thin edge of the new wedge for Netflix. And we've talked about this a lot on the show of like what happens next for Netflix once they lose back catalog and they're just an originals place and everybody's going to subscribe to them. Subscribes. Where do they grow? They grow by selling merch. This isn't necessarily the merch figurines were a lot more compelling to me than the t-shirts.
And actually, they've got, as part of this Target thing, a DVD set of Stranger Things, and that looks really good. The box and the packaging look good, and it's supposed to have special features and stuff, which you would think would come to Netflix, but I don't know.
I wonder if there are any people with Barb tattoos.
Oh God.
Pickle Barb.
I'm sorry.
Pickle Barb!
I bet not even Barb has a Barb tattoo.
I bet.
It just says, remember me.
Like, never forget or rest in peace. You
Never
know
forget
somebody's got that.
Resting in peace.
Netflix and Amazon have joined several movie studios in suing Tickbox, one of those many Android-based boxes that promises to deliver quote-unquote free TV. While Tickbox explicitly says it does not condone piracy and that the box is not to be used for such purposes, it also says you can, quote, access movies and shows that are still on demand and episodes of TV that just aired. You will never pay to watch any of them.
That's what gets them in trouble right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's good for them to get busted on that.
And honestly, studios going after these Android boxes is not new. Netflix and Amazon joining up on the suit, though. That's new. That's interesting.
Specifically, I wonder, because understand the way they're ripping off Netflix is not by creating a pirate feed of Netflix specifically. It's that grabbing it from BitTorrent or the illegal distribution stuff is affecting them in such a significant way. That's what's interesting to me.
Snap Inc. and NBC Universal are partnering on a new digital content studio to make original scripted video in the 3 to 5 minute long format. First original show will be produced with U.S. film and TV producers Mark and Jay Duplass and their new Donut Creative Studio. This is on the heels of a successful pilot run of a version of The Voice singing competition that was held on Snapchat.
So is small the new large? Is that what's going on again? We're hearing that story.
Carson Daly still alive?
I think this is if this isn't a passing fad, which I'm not convinced it's not. This is a separate thing. This is a subgenre. It's not a replacement for anything.
Yeah. I believe a lot of these properties can exist as a fractal, where it's like from a distance you see the big picture, but the closer you get in, you get these more fine-grained details and so on.
Because people who are way into The Voice definitely enjoyed this, and it did well. And then the winner of The Voice on Snapchat actually got to compete on The Voice on regular television.
Man, I would like to feel like you have some kind of unique insight, considering the fact that every time
it's
I
my
stay
wife's
at your
second
place,
job is watching The Voice.
Okay.
That is how
you beat me to the punch. I was gonna out your wife. Every time I stay there, I hear The Voice all the time.
Because it's always on.
Chelsea Handler's Netflix talk show will come to an end after season 2. Handler will release a documentary on Netflix where she engages with, quote, people of different ethnicities, religions, and political philosophies. She also plans to become more engaged in the U.S. political process. How interesting. So, okay, when a new platform emerges, there's a brief phase where everybody engaging in it is really doing kind of a profit-taking thing. They're harvesting their goodwill. That's why they were brought to the new platform, is because they have an existing audience, and this is a way for them to cash in and make money on that existing audience. Meanwhile, the new platform is excited to have people who are hopefully drawing people in. Netflix is at that phase where it's about to become an establishing platform. With Stranger Things, we have essentially a whole bunch of unknowns that are suddenly big names because of the platform on there. I'm bummed because Chelsea Handler's situation seems like she got caught somewhere in the middle. She was brought in to bring her platform, her audience with her, but now she's being cut short because it's not quite the right platform to take her to the next level.
Well, what I think is going on here, this is totally a guess, is that Chelsea Handler and Netflix realized, we really like working together, but a talk show doesn't work on Netflix. You know, when you don't have a live airing, when you don't build up a nightly habit, it doesn't work. But we do know what did work. We know what people did like about your show. Let's do that. And I think that's why she's talking about doing this documentary style thing. That's like, this is the part that people actually responded to, not the talk show aspect, but me going out and talking to people about these hard issues. And I'm, my conscience is raised too. So I feel fired up to do this. And I'm very curious to see what, if anything, comes from Chelsea Handler on Netflix in the future, because this could be Netflix saying, this is how the talk show format works on Netflix versus the way it used to work on cable.
Well, is there that begs the question, is there anything, do you think it would work if they had a live talk show or some sort of, not really live show, but they said, okay, every night on Netflix at 8 o'clock.
That's what they did with Chelsea Handler.
They did that with that.
That's exactly what they were going for.
did?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They kept like scaling back how many days a week it was. I think it started with 3 or 4, and then it ended up being like 2.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Equally,
and it just didn't work?
The documentary series that she did, Chelsea Does, right before that talk show came out, was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And if the idea is like, we'll just do more of those, I think that's great, because I think the best parts of the Chelsea show were the packages that she did, and I don't know that the talk show stuff was very good. I don't know that maybe that's her best aspect.
You would probably know this, Bryce. Somebody over the weekend was saying that there was a Chelsea Handler bit that they coupled her with an actual clinical psychiatrist or whatever, and they had her do various drugs live on the air.
There was one of the documentaries of Chelsea Does was Chelsea Does Drugs.
Yeah.
And so they followed her as she went and did ayahuasca. And so that might be what you're thinking of, that was a good
you know
piece.
what I'm thinking of.
No, I don't.
Because I'm a modern rogue.
Oh, jeez.
The modern rogue does a lot of cocaine.
Just to see what happened.
Science. And hits.
Yeah, this is like the DJs who were like, we're raising awareness about drunk driving, so I'm going to have a drink every minute this hour. All right, let's get on to our dispatches from the front. Hey, Brian, our boss wrote in. Got to pay attention to this one. Chris from Parkville, Maryland said, I love the discussion about movies anywhere in episode 191. I was so excited. I signed up at my first available opportunity. Connecting all the services went very smoothly on my cell phone, except for iTunes because I'm on Android, but even that got connected eventually. According to this article, though, in The Verge, 4K upgrades are limited to Apple titles. That's Apple's upgrade of 4K. So if you buy them from Apple, you get them upgraded, but he's saying it sounds like they don't otherwise. He's like, I own Glory in HD on Vudu from a disc upgrade. It is available on all the other services, but there is a 4K version on Amazon. I do not have access to that one, even after registering with Movies Anywhere. I hope other studios get on board with the 4K upgrades, because it irks me that the 4K versions of some movies are only available on one service. 2 I know about. Star Trek Beyond is only 4K on Vudu, and Glory is only 4K on Amazon. Also, Star Trek Beyond's Paramount, so that's not even part of Movies Anywhere yet anyway. This obstacle will slow the adoption of 4K because convenience trumps fidelity.
Mark Sadlier also writes in dispatches. On the most recent episode, this is last week, we mentioned that Movies Anywhere links to partners to purchase content. Total bummer, but not surprising, that it does not do price comparison. I use the Just Watch app on my iPhone, on my phone to do comparison shopping. It does a good job of aggregating rental and purchase pricing. Thank you. I've
run into Just Watch being wrong, though, where like their prices aren't updated after a change happens somewhere.
I've found various discrepancies.
Okay.
On there. Yeah.
Well, and also, I think we talked about this when we talked about Movies Anywhere. It will do price comparisons, just not on the iOS and Apple TV devices. You could click buy and it wouldn't show you the prices. That's right.
It won't.
It'll show you the links, but it won't show you the
iOS,
prices.
it'll only let you buy from iTunes. It won't do anything comparison. But yeah, if you can choose whether to buy from Amazon, Google, Vudu, or iTunes when you're on the desktop or on another app. Problem is, you don't get to see the prices until you click through. So you either have to click through 4 times or do something like go look up Just Watch.
Tom, I have the Amazon app on my iPhone. Is that part of that agreement why I can't directly buy movies through the app?
Well, it's not an agreement. What Apple does is say, if you want to sell movies in your app on iOS, we get 30% of every movie you sell. And so everybody goes, no, we will not give you 30% of every movie. We just won't sell movies through the app. We'll sell them on the web. And Movies Anywhere is no different. They're like, well, you could take 30% of your own sales, so iTunes, great. But we're not going to give you 30% of everybody else.
Gotcha.
Justin wrote in and said, message. No, I don't know if he said message. That's what it says here.
Maybe he said
Not-
massage.
Squarespace.
Not sure if you've mentioned this website before or not, but GoWatchIt.com is an extremely useful website showing all the places you can watch a movie to buy, rent, or even get tickets to see it in the theater. It includes all kinds of services and on-demand from cable. I found it while I was looking up a movie called Dealt about a Richard Turner, a blind magician. Brian might be interested in.
Yeah, no, I hear amazing things about Richard Turner.
And Brian's going blind.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know if you guys got a chance to take a look at this. GoWatchIt.com, and there's a ton of these popping up all the time, but this one's good. It's really well laid out, and it seems to have a really robust database. I tried a couple of different searches, and it turned out well.
Oh yeah, it includes cable on demand options also.
I like the interface. It's very clean.
Yeah, agree.
Meanwhile, Outlaw Pete writes us, says, "Hey, Tom and Brian, have you heard about Sinemia? Sinemia.
My mom almost had that.
Cinema. I recently discovered it when I was considering signing up for MoviePass. They have plans starting off at just $10 a month. It's not unlimited movies like MoviePass, yet you are able to see 2D, 3D, and IMAX movies. From what I could tell, you're able to reserve your seat ahead of time, unlike MoviePass, which requires you to be near the theater. Keep up the good work. Your boss, Outlaw Pete." Thank you very much, Outlaw Pete.
Now, Outlaw Pete is not talking about Movies Anywhere. That's the app we were just talking about. He's talking about MoviePass, the company that lets you buy a subscription and go see movies in the theater. And it sounds like Sinemia, for as bad as this name is kind of an upstart. Right now it only works in California, but they want to expand. It's doing the same thing.
I mean, I think they're riffing on cinema, right? Sinemia.
Yes.
Sinemia.
But
I still don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Is this only California? Because I was looking at this earlier today, and it knew I was in Austin.
Oh, it does.
And
It says show theaters in Austin.
Maybe they've already expanded past California. I know when it started, it was limited, but they might have already started branching out, which is great.
Yeah, right on.
How's your
Sinemia.
How's your MoviePass working out?
I love it.
Bryce, you love it? Okay.
It's great. It's
Really?
so good. It's so good. It's great.
All right.
I went and saw. I just go watch bad movies. I went and watched The Snowman, and it was awful. And I was in an empty theater, just laughing my ass off.
That's amazing.
Oh my god, I love it.
By the way, that's the same trigger that has made Netflix such a success. Is knowing that you have everything. Like there's no investment. It's like maybe this is terrible. I'm gonna hit play. Go.
I don't know. I'm not adding anything to my expenditures by walking into the theater right now, and so I can walk out. No big deal.
I haven't been to the
good.
movies since like July.
Ooh.
So
You need Sinemia.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on board.
Are you you want to come
Early
out to
adopter.
you want to come out to Thor Ragnarok with me and Jay?
Oh yeah, when?
When it comes out.
When it comes? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, don't
All
be
right.
synemic.
Right on.
All right, Jason Murphy, thank you so much. Where can folks find more what you're doing these days?
I do a show where we teach you how to be the ultimate gentleman, scoundrel, and warrior. I can never remember the three of those. I always want to say scholar, and that's not in there.
Scholar, moundrel, and phlebotomist.
YouTube.com/modern rogue. That's where you find all of my stuff. Bryce has me pull up on Twitter at Captain Murphy. I clearly haven't updated in a while. It's been a couple of months. Usually Modern Rogue. Try to be good about answering comments and stuff like that. And we've got some fun stuff coming up. Like real fun. Friday.
Really excited about this next week.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if you're listening to this this week, which you probably are, then this Friday, get ready for something pretty good.
Excellent. Brian, I missed you.
God, I missed you.
I'm so good to do this show right again.
Yeah. No, feels good. Feels good. Feels right.
Our website is cordkillers.com. Our email address is cordkillers@gmail.com. We're live on diamondclub.tv Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you next time.
Hey, guys. Tom and Brian here. We just wanted to say thank you to all of our $5 patrons who keep us loud, live, and independent. You guys make Cordkillers the production that it is.
Your name appears in the video credits and appears in our hearts. And if you'd like to become one of them or see who they are, you can go to patreon.com/cordkillers.
You'll need to do more than just go there, though. You'll have to sign up and, pledge an amount. But
Unless you just want to see who they are.
Well, I mean, you could gawk. That's a little creepy, isn't it?
If you want to be a gawker,
Let's go.
up to you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.